World of Warcraft developer panel, Gamescom 2025. So this is the first panel. I think this one covers more of the PvE stuff. Actually, I don't know 100% what this one covers. This is the first panel. We already watched the second one. We're watching them in a different order now. Lots of good info in here, though. And I have not seen this, even though we were at Gamescom. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And Marie Hamilton for the World of Midnight. Give it up!
Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen. Thank you, game.
Bro, does Ian speak German? Or you just learned that? That was solid. All right, there we go.
Come. Thank you for coming out for this panel where we're going to talk about the world of Midnight, the story, the zones, the cultures, and the places that you'll go. I'm Ian Hasekostas, game director on WoW.
Hi, I'm Maria Hamilton, associate design director on WoW. I'm super happy to be here.
And so today we're going to talk about story, cultures, delves, dungeons, and raids. So let me just kick things off with a quick recap of the stories so far, what brought us here. So we began the World Soul Saga around a year ago and began telling the largest, most ambitious story we've ever tried to tell in World of Warcraft. It all began with whispers, visions that the champions of Azeroth were beginning to experience that ultimately led Thrall and Anduin, among others, to, a certain sword in a certain place. We investigated, we tracked those visions down, and ultimately they led us to the mysterious land of Khazalgar, where we deployed the floating city of Dalaran, and that didn't go so well. We were in fact ambushed by Xal'atath and her Nerubian allies, where Xal'atath wielded the Dark Heart artifact to drain the power of Dalaran, capturing Khadgar as well, and destroying the city. Over the course of our adventures, Xal'atath thwarted us several times, but Ilaria was able to ultimately perceive the power and the importance of the Dark Heart. She struck out at it, damaging it. This severely disrupted Xal'atath's plans, as well as freeing Khadgar. He was mortally wounded, but Anduin was able to step in and save him. But that disruption...
Guys, do you think Xal'atath ever doesn't dodge that arrow? Like, are you kidding me? We're expected to believe that we're gonna let that arrow hit? There's no way, right? There's no way.
Led Xal'atath to seek out the aid of one Gallywix. Now, the Dark Heart is this incredibly powerful artifact, originally crafted by Neltharion with the aid of the goblins. So who better than some goblins to repair the damage? But she should have found some more trust.
Yeah, guys, I know Xal'atath dodged, but it hit that Dark Heart, right? There's no way, like, she's wearing it or it's like right there. There's no way we're not just completely getting out of dodge. That's what I'm saying.
Worthy goblins. Because Gallywix, of course, had a plan of his own. And the Dark Heart ended up falling into the hands of Shadowguard Ethereals, who aimed to use it to bring back the Voidlord Demencius. A threat so great that it even forced Xal'atath to set aside her goals and work with us for a time to stop his rise and the inevitable devouring of all worlds. Now, we have defeated Demencius, at least on story mode, Raid Finder, normal, and heroic. I think Echo is actually working on Mythic around 25 minutes from here right now.
Bro, I didn't realize Echo was right next to Gamescom. Like, I was talking to Preach, and he was like right there. Oh, Kai's upset. I was talking to Preach, and like the studio was right there. I was maybe gonna go say hi to all the Echo guys, but we had zero time, man. We were like every day we had something, and it was just like constantly packed. Then we flew out at like 4 a.m. so it was like zero time. Man, I kind of wanted to, though. That would have been sick.
Now, so is Method and Liquid. But would you believe that upon Dimensius's defeat, Xelatath was not, as it turns out, on our side? And so she claimed the power of the Void Lord Dimensius, ascended to become one of the most powerful beings the cosmos has ever known. And now, as we move into midnight, she is set to launch an assault that will plunge our world into darkness, that will extinguish all light unless we stand against it.
All right, well, let's start off talking about our heroes and our foes. So starting off, we've got Turalyon, Erator, and Ilaria. We've been following Ilaria's journey for a bit here. We know about her feelings.
Am I the only one that's still, like, not 100% used to the new Ilaria look? Like, for me, it still feels like a little different than I'm ever expecting whenever I think Ilaria. You know? I don't know. Still not there.
About Xelatath, and she was right all along. We also have Turalyon, her husband, who will be an important part of Midnight as a representative of the light. So at the very end of the cinematic there, when we see the light coming in response to Liadrin's prayer, the army of light has arrived, and so have the players. We also will be called by the light to come and join that battle. Erator, of course, is their child. He also is a paladin, and he is very supportive and understanding of both of his parents. He's trying to understand the void influences that Ilaria is dealing with, as well as the strong call to light that his father has. So he's a little bit in the middle of the two. So they are very important to our story. And of course, we have Xelatath. Couldn't go very far without Xelatath, our very cool villain. She seems to do whatever she needs to do to achieve whatever her goal is. She's now stated what her goal is. She's going to wipe us off the planet. She's going to take Azeroth. She's going to take all the power for herself and bring down Midnight. So looking forward to seeing what's happening with Xelatath. Wasn't really expecting the Army of Light to show up there, as you could tell. She seemed a little surprised, but she's got plenty of forces and she's very powerful at this point. We also have Liadrin. She is she's the Blood Knight matriarch. She's obviously a very powerful paladin. She's the one who has called upon the light to come and save the day. And she is going to be very important to our efforts to push back the void. She does not have a strong liking for the Amani trolls, and that will become important.
Okay.
We have Orwena, who we met back in the War Within.
Avatar.
The Heronir. We met a few of them, not a lot. And as you probably know, we'll be going...
Does anyone know the Heronir racials and what classes you can be? Like, is that information out yet? I haven't seen that anywhere. Maybe it's in this panel here. Yeah, maybe it's in this panel here. It is? Yes, it's out. Do we have the racials, though? The Mr. GM interview? Okay, I'm going to look at that info after this. Can you be a Heronir mage? We might have to full send. Who knows?
And seeing more about their culture and their race. Orwena is going to have an opportunity to teach us about her people and what they care about, what their interests are, their culture. And she is one of the youngest of her race, actually. She is not an elder. There are elder Heronir, much more knowledgeable and wise. She follows the voice of her goddess, and that has taken her into places that we have been able to find her at last. We have Umbric and the Void Elves. This is an opportunity for the Void Elves to really come into their own, having been banished essentially from Silvermoon and their kin, essentially, because of the void taint that they feel that they have. Umbric is obviously trying to pull his people together, and he has a lot to contribute to our efforts to face off against the void. We have Zuljara and Zul'Jan, grandchildren of Zul'Jin. Zuljara is the chieftain of the Amani.
That adds up.
Zul'Jan is her greatest advisor and brother. They are going to be giving us an opportunity to experience the Amani culture, not as enemies this time, but as sort of friends. They too are having slight void problems, and they need some assistance. Needless to say, the Blood Elves are uninspired by that request, as they aren't on best of terms. And then we have the Void and the Light, arguably the biggest conflict here between two forces. The Void we have been fighting against, the Light we have been fighting with. But, you know, extremes of either are problematic, as you might imagine. So there will be some issues between the two, and also issues between people that are Void-based, like Void Elves, and the Army of the Light Paladins, for example. So that's another important sort of contrast to watch during Midnight.
Cool.
And now let's look at the really pretty pictures, go into the culture and zones. So our first culture to talk about is Blood Elves. Those of you that don't play Horde may not know a lot about.
Bro, I played a Blood Elf for years. Like back in Legion, you guys remember the Blood Elf racial was like a 2-second silence AoE, and you blink in there, you send the Blood Elf racial silence and just kill someone 100-0 in 2 seconds. It was nice, and then they yoinked it. No more Blood Elf racial, and we were gone. But man, Blood Elves look sick. The casting animations, you jump up and you do a little spin, and it's just like,
The Blood Elves, this is your opportunity to rectify that. They were High Elves before adopting the name Sindorai to represent and reflect upon the death of so many of their own. The Scourge, it did a terrible number on their home area in Eversong and Ghostlands, and they have been recovering ever since. Their need for power, their need for energy and magical strength is well known. They are very, very tied to the Sunwell, which is, of course, exactly what Xalatath is going after. Here's some.
Does anyone else find it odd? Like, I need to watch like a lore video or something, but like, out of all things in WoW lore and WoW history and WoW things.
I hope you have a great day.
Back at you. Thank you. For all things for Xalatath to go after, out of anything, Sunwell. Like, I wonder what's going on there. Clearly, I'm a lore noob, right? But like, I wonder what's going on there. Out of anything that she could have targeted, Sunwell is the heart of the world. She wants no more sun. They're elves. It's old lore. The tree burned down. The Sunwell's part of the Well of Eternity. I feel like there's been a lot of... I bet Platinum WoW was already cooking this up. I would love for like a deep dive into the lore on why Sunwell. Like, I mean, generally it makes sense. But I mean, specifically, out of all different things she could have targeted, right? Like, all the different things we've had over the years, like Sunwell, you know?
Pre-alpha footage for you that we just captured a couple weeks ago. Want to point out that...
Oh, someone said Sunwell has a golden ticket to the chocolate factory. Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
There's not a lot of creatures spawned yet because, as I said, we're pre-alpha. But it's looking really good. It's exactly like what you might expect from Eversong. Eversong and Ghostlands have been combined into a single zone, Quel'Thalas. Because it's a relatively small zone. They were small zones back in Classic. And now with Skywriting, we want it to feel fun to move through them. But as you can see, you know, it's the usual sorts of architecture that you would expect, the lofty glistening towers, the amazing foliage and manicured gardens. And there are some things that have healed. The Death Scar in particular has totally healed and is no longer there. Not all parts of the zone, however, have healed up. There are still some areas that look a little bit iffy, this being one of them. Essentially, it's the same place you're used to if you're a Blood Elf. If not, here's your opportunity to check it out. Check out the zone. Reimagining it was super fun for us. Artists had a great time. Had the opportunity to make it just a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and increase the fidelity of the zone. Hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to move on now. And this is Silvermoon City. It is enormous. I would say that because it's a hub city, there's a small section of Silvermoon that's been set aside as a sanctuary area where Horde and Alliance share that space. But the majority of the city is Horde.
That's sick. The Horde emblem in the grass on the cutout. Fire.
And, alliances kill on sight, as you would expect. Essentially, our world building team had a wonderful time. It's all new assets. The city walls are all brand new, all to top fidelity.
Bro, I went to the Cologne Cathedral, and it kind of reminds me of like these massive, massive, massive arcs, dude. You go in there, and it's like 150-foot ceilings, and you're walking through, and you're just like, wow. It's kind of like this, a little bit.
Everything has been remade. We've got places you'll recognize. You should feel real nostalgia if you've had any experience here. We have Murder's Row, which you're going to see a dungeon related to that as well. But overall, it's the same glorious, wonderful Silvermoon you love, but with much, much better, much more recent fidelity art. And once this stuff gets filled in with our spawning, it's going to look amazing. And yeah, there's a little void storm problem going on. And let's talk about the Amani, because they're the next culture we're going to want to talk about. They were previously enemies. If you happen to be around and played the raid in Zulaman, then you're familiar with the Amani and sort of their culture. We've had an opportunity to expand them because we created an entire zone for them now. They are very proud people. They worked very hard to get their land. They had some important work to do. The Zandalari basically said, well, you can have that land if you defeat this, giant, evil, horrible thing. And so they did that. And they were a great empire for a period of time, but they've fallen sort of into a lesser status now. They've sort of lost their touch with the Loa. They're not as close to them. Being right on the border and having a lot of conflict with the Blood Elves makes this a little tricky for them. They too are having some void problems. This is Zulaman. We've built the entire zone out. You will see the raid space. It still exists. Those of you that did that raid will recognize those buildings, I expect.
Cool.
This is a very old forest, very tall mountains. It's temperate. It rains a fair bit. It's got eagle, lynx, Janalai. It's got dragonhawk, bear,
That's
Loa, temples still, but the Amani haven't been really worshiping the Loa for a long time. A lot of stuff is overgrown and abandoned, and Zuljara is going to need to find a way to help her people survive the void onslaught that is coming for them. As you can see where the void has come in, it's not looking quite so good. And let's move on to the Heronir.
Heronir, all
So
right.
we met the Heronir early on in the War Within,
These are like the Avatar people, man. That kind of looks sick.
but we weren't really sure what they were about. We didn't know their story, and we didn't know their connection really to the rest of the world. We'd never seen them before. They are ancient guardians of the root ways, and they're led actually by a council of elders. They have a very direct connection with their goddess, and Orwena has a very strong direct connection, in fact, with the goddess, which led her to leave her people and go out into the outside world, something that they don't tend to do and they don't really look kindly upon. So, as you probably have heard, they are unlocked as an allied race. You'll be able to make your very own Heronir. We're going to have great customizations for them.
Bro, I might have to go Heronir in Midnight. This looks sick. Can you be Alliance or Horde, or is it one or the other? Yeah, is it Alliance or Horde? She didn't mention. Maybe it's either. It's both? Okay, cool. Like, look at the customizations here, man. That looks sick. We'll have to look at the racials, too, see if it's, like, remotely viable for a mage. I don't know.
They look pretty awesome. I have to say, I've seen the Druid forms. We weren't able to show those yet. They are really awesome. One of them is a pangolin, which just looks amazing. They are prone to wearing this bioluminescent paint, and they have different kinds of patterns they can put on their faces and chests. So really cool looking, really awesome. Not really elves, not really trolls. Those of you that have kind of seen them previously, played in the War Within, know that they take a bat form when they want to travel. So that's the Heronir and their customizations.
Can you become a bat?
And this is the zone, Herondar. It is a fungal jungle
It's like Zangar Marsh, kind of.
and it has all of the roots of the world trees all converge here, all are twisted up in this area, this pocket area, which isn't really directly connected to anything. The people, the heron deer travel through the rootways themselves, so they're able to move around the world. One of the interesting things about this zone is it has a place called the Rift of Aln, and from the Rift of Aln will issue forth creatures that their goddess dreams. And sometimes they are horrific and horrible things. And some members of the Heronir take an oath, give up their connection to the goddess, and serve as wardens of that place, preventing those horrible creatures from attacking. They also have this place called the Den of Echoes, which we're looking at now. This is where the Heronir remember their past through paintings, and you will have an opportunity to learn some of those stories by interacting with those paintings. And let's talk a little bit about the Void, since we also have that as a culture. You can see people you recognize on one side, and people you probably recognize less on the other side.
Yeah.
Void creatures in general are very predatory. They are interested in eating anything smaller and weaker than themselves and taking that power. The Dominar, which are sort of the strongest, are a bit different. They are very, very intelligent, very smart. And the Dominar actually have a bit of a hierarchy that they've developed, again, through conquest, through beating on and dominating others. And you will deal with Dominar as one of the stronger representatives of the Void. Of course, Xalatath is part of this group. Cultists who follow Xalatath and follow the Void. We've already seen the Shadow Guard as well. There's even cute little ones, but they will try to eat you, so don't think that they're all that cute.
Good to know. All right.
And this is Voidstorm. This is a
Twitch chat being Twitch chat. Nice, guys. Nice. Yep.
the mysterious world that has been formed by the Void. Everything here is hungry. Everything will eat you given opportunity. This is all about gaining power, becoming stronger, becoming more powerful, and eating the next thing. Essentially, we have a big raid here in Voidstorm. This is where we will face off against the Void with the Army of Light and attempt.
I feel like there's a lot of TBC themes coming out. We have Void Storm, which is like Netherstorm, and then we have the Herondar, which is like Zangar Marsh, and then the main city is Silvermoon, which is the city of the Blood Elves, and then we have Sunwell as the place that Xalatath is trying to take over. Right? It seems very similar to TBC. Yo, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm putting this all together like bro, I love TBC, and I think they're like nodding to all of these same themes.
Had to wait till you
Feels
use
that
the
way.
Prime for you to be back.
And yeah, and then maybe the last Titan will be Wrath themed. Who knows? I don't know. Gilbert, thanks for the Prime.
To make sense of what's going on here, but there are some gorgeous pictures. I would say the best blues and purples ever, probably, happening right here. But generally speaking, really...
Wait, guys, the last Titan is in Northrend? Already confirmed. Guys, are we cooking or are we cooking? Brother, Midnight TVC, Last Titan, Wrath, Inspired? I'm just saying we just cooked.
Really cool zone to explore. And you can be pretty sure that they're enemies, all of them. All right, and I'm going to hand off to Ian for delves, dungeons, and raids. Thanks, all.
Here we go. Delves, Dungeons, Raids. Let's see
Thank you, Maria. Yeah.
Guys, this is the stage right here where Peekaboo and I became #1 Delve champions at the Gamescom 2025 Creator Clash. I'm pretty sure we sat right here in this chair. We played with Platinum WoW. It was Platinum WoW, Peekaboo, and I. on our number 1 team to become delve champions. Don't want to flex or anything, but we did come first.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah, all those amazing
guys. We didn't lose 2-0 in Mythic Plus, guys. Look, for Mythic Plus, we didn't want to win everything because it would have been too cringe. So in order to kind of share the love, we ended up sacking the Mythic and taking the Delve Championship. Yeah, that's right.
Zones that you just saw, of course, are going to contain delves, dungeons, and raids. So really, delves are one of our proudest additions to War Within, and they are, of course, here to stay.
Okay.
And so you have 10 new delves coming with Midnight, scattered across these zones.
Delve
I think
5?
we've learned a lot of lessons. We've taken feedback on what worked and what didn't. And so these are going to have all the same layers of variety and replayability that you knew in the War Within, but more layouts, more enemies that we found work better in this format, and less of those that don't. A couple of these delves are actually going to be outdoor spaces where you can use your ground mounts to get around more easily. And we're really happy to be able to integrate them into the stories of the zones, because now that they're such a proven format, we can really have quests lead you through them more regularly. Now, of course, in addition to these 10 delves, there is an 11th Nemesis delve, where you will track down the Nemesis that has been plaguing you over the course of the first season. And taking the place of Bran Bronzebeard will be a new companion, none other than our good friend Valera Sanguinar.
Hello, Valera.
Now, she will aid you in many of the same ways as Bran, and hopefully stand in fewer things that you'd prefer she not stand in. So, dungeons.
Do you guys prefer Valera or Bran to follow you around? I'm just saying, like, I think Midnight's looking better and better as we learn more about the updated experiences.
We have 8 new dungeons coming in Midnight, 4 level up, 4 max level. And again, these we always try to showcase fun gameplay and innovative looks at the dungeon format. We'll be returning to Magister's Terrace, which has really been reimagined and expanded from last we saw it. We'll visit some new locations that weren't accessible before, including a balcony overlooking the Sunwell itself. When we go to Murder Row, a corner of Silvermoon, I think for Court of Stars.
Is this like the same Magister's Terrace as TBC? I would assume they just scaling it. That's gotta be. Dude.
Fans back from Legion, there's some of those vibes here as we're actually going in undercover to investigate rumors of the use of fell magic within the walls of Silvermoon. And before we know it, we're going to be plunged into combat, and the dungeon will unfold from there. Another favorite is the Void Scar Arena in the Voidstorm. Here, at the whims of one of the Dominar that Maria was just mentioning, combatants from around the universe come together to kind of battle to the death for the pleasure of the Dominar, and we're going to be thrown into that arena as part of this dungeon. And don't worry, especially in Mythic Plus, as waves come at you, you can control the pace of the waves. Of course, we're going to have a mix of 4 of these dungeons, as well as 4 returning fan favorites in the first season of Midnight. But unlike in War Within, all 8 of these dungeons will be available in Mythic 0 during that pre-season period right at launch. Another fun dungeon that we'll be venturing into is Windrunner Spire, where for those of you, particularly lore fans out there, we're going to get to learn more about the family history and the tragic background of the Windrunner family. This is a wing dungeon with plenty of mysteries to uncover. Now in Midnight, we have not 1, not 2, but 3 separate raid zones that will be rolling out over the course of the first season. Here you see the Void Spire in the Voidstorm, which is that strong...
All right, I'm an idiot. What does that mean? There's 3 raid tiers in one season? What about Race to World First and stuff? Is there one that's like the actual one? 3 separate raids? Like Kata? Wait, so there's going to be 3 Race to World First in like the course of 6 months? Some are 1 boss? Like that's crazy. Or is it really 9 bosses over 3 raids? Over 5 weeks? The third one is delayed. 1 race, more raids. But for like Race to World First, they have to travel to get there and book out the venue. I wonder for this if they're gonna have to stay home. You know what I mean? Because if there's like a couple weeks in between, they're probably not gonna be flying back and forth. Who cares about Race to World First? I mean, I do. It's awesome. I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Stronghold of power where we're going to need to assault Xalatath. This is a 6-boss raid. But alongside it, there will also be the Dream Rift, a 1-boss raid in Harinar. And then shortly after that, we'll be able to take the fight back to the Sunwell and the Gates of Silvermoon in the March on Keldanas. So really excited to have different environments, different settings, and really integrate the raids into the stories that we're telling more than ever before. Because with story mode, all players can experience these epic moments, and we can offer a wider range of environments for guilds to challenge themselves against. So that is a quick look at the world, the setting, and what's coming in Midnight. Thank you, Gamescom.
I mean, I said it at the end of last video, and I can say it again at the end of this video. It feels like Midnight is just updating everything that we saw in War Within just a little bit more. Like everything, like delves, like UI, customization, races, like it feels like everything is just even more updated, like Kaizen, right? Like small improvements kind of everywhere, which is great, right? I mean, that's awesome. It's still retail. They're not doing anything earth-shattering like, oh, we're going to just completely go in the opposite direction or anything like that. Like, no, it's still retail. So to me, it seems like if you like retail, you're going to love Midnight because it's becoming a better product, objectively, right? It's just becoming a better product. But if you don't like modern game design, like it's still retail. So like Peo isn't gonna like Midnight, right? Like, you know, like people that like want classic like still aren't gonna like Midnight. You know, that's pretty much what it is.